If I was to put my neck on the line and say the one thing that confuses people the most when it comes to losing weight or losing body fat, it would be what foods should I be eating, what's good and what's not good. And in today's video, I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to use over 15 years worth of experience working with hundreds of different clients, helping them lose an untold amount of body fat. So if you're somebody watching this that is confused by nutrition, what foods you should and shouldn't be eating, and you want to lose some body fat, then this video is for you. So we're going to get into the video. Just before we do, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you give me a subscribe, please. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please head over to Instagram and drop me a follow. And if you want further support from me, I offer a free 7-day fat loss program. So you can sign up to this via the link in the bio. Right, let's get into it then. So the truth about fat loss foods. So the question is always out there, what is good for me and what isn't good for me? So the first thing I will say is, as we can see here, there are no magic foods for fat loss, okay? Nothing is magic. Nothing's going to help you lose body fat more than the others in terms of specific foods. The other thing I want to say here is there's no bad food here either. So often you'll hear people saying bad and good when it comes to food. And we understand what they mean. I might say it occasionally, I might drop it into a conversation. But strictly speaking, nothing's bad and nothing is good. It's just higher or lower calories. Okay? So we know fat loss comes down to calorie balance, okay? So that means the amount of calories coming in our body versus the amount of calories going out of our body. So we need to be in a calorie deficit to lose body weight or body fat, okay? So here's the problem. Although there's no good or bad foods, they do vary in calorie totals, okay? So all foods got measured in calories. Some of them are higher than others. So the issue is, we can see here the problem. So you fill your diet with high calorie, low volume foods. So essentially what we mean here, this is all the nice stuff, essentially like the treaty like stuff. So you can see chips, cookies, fast food, sugary drinks, all the stuff that people crave at times. Now, the issue with these foods are they're all very high in calories, but the low volume part means they don't fill you up. Okay, so you're going to have a bag of chips or a pack of cookies. There's an absolute ton of calories there, but they don't fill us up. So one, we've obviously elevated our calorie total for the day that day, but also we need to eat again not too long after it because we're not full. Okay, so you'll stay hungry and you'll blow through your calories fast, which is essentially what I have just explained. So that's why fat loss feels impossible for many people, because we are eating too many of these types of food. Again, it's not that they're bad, they're just high calorie and they don't fill us up. Okay, so that's going to mean we're going to struggle to stay in a deficit if we're trying to lose weight. So the solution is we need to make better food choices. And what we mean by this is we need to pick foods that are lower in calorie, that we can have more volume. Okay, so choose foods that let you eat more volume with fewer calories. So foods that are going to keep you satisfied. Okay, so the goal here is to eat plenty whilst hitting your calorie target. One of the key bits of feedback I get from my clients when they start working with me, even clients that are on 1200 or 1400 calories, pretty low calories, turn around and say, Jack, wow, I can't believe how much food is there. I can't believe like how much volume is there. Even this week, recording this video, I've had new clients approach me and say, Jack, I can't finish that on 1400 calories, say that it's too much for them. Okay, so if we plan our food out properly, we can eat a lot of food without going over our calorie target. So foods that are good for that, proteins, lean proteins, probably the best, to be honest, because proteins are the foods that are going to keep us feeling full for longest. So high protein, vegetables, we can pile vegetables on our plate. They're next to no calories. Pile them on. No one ever got fat because they ate too many vegetables. Technically, you could do it, but you'd need a lorry load. Okay, so pile vegetables on your plate. Fruit as well. The comments I'm hearing in my head here when I mention fruit is, oh, what about the sugar? Doesn't matter. It's all about calories to start with. We can refine sugar and carbs and fat totals later down the line. To start with, we just need to make sure we're not overeating. Fruit, although it has sugar in, yes, it's low in calorie. We can eat that and it's not too much of an issue. And then whole grain, so your oats, your pastas, your potato, your rice. This is what you're going to have with your vegetables and your protein. Okay. And then finally, hydration. It's an important point. Although it's not food, if we're drinking enough water, so the guideline is 1 litre of water per 25 kilos of body weight. So 1 litre per 25 kilos of body weight. If we're drinking water, that's going to help us keep fuller as well. Okay, so how are we going to put all this together? Essentially, we're going to build meals. Now, what I've just said about proteins, about carbohydrates, so like your rices, your pastas, and your vegetables, is probably what you all would consider as a healthy meal anyway. It's just making sure we're doing it, making sure we're going shopping, making sure we're getting those foods in. If we want to get some recipes in, nowadays, we can use recipe books, which is kind of old-fashioned. If you really enjoy cooking and you like recipe books, then use a recipe book. I like to use things like ChatGPT nowadays for recipes. You can go in there, you can give it a prompt, you can say, I've got a limit of 500 calories for my evening meal. I like this meat, this meat, this meat. I like this carbohydrate, and this carbohydrate. I like Mexican food, Italian food. Please keep cooking time down to 30 minutes. You can tell it whatever you want and it will give you recipes for that. Okay, so we can see here, build your meals around protein and veg first. Protein, because protein's great for us. It's not very high calorie and it's very satiating. It's going to keep us full. Veg, because we can have loads and loads of it without it being very high in calories. And then add your carbs in afterwards. Okay, so your potatoes, your rice, whatever you want for your carbs. Use fats for flavor, but keep portions mindful. Fats, obviously higher in calories. Things like olive oil, any other foods with fat in, they're all higher in calories, so we need to be mindful with those. But that's where it comes to tracking and making sure that we know what we're eating. Okay, so the result is meals are filling and not frustrating. So the key takeaway for today's video is there are no secret foods when it comes to fat loss. No one food is better than the other. It's just about making better choices in terms of calorie limits. Technically speaking, you could go to McDonald's every day and lose body fat. You could. Like, people do it. People have made videos doing that because that would be essentially their only meal for the day. They would be getting some steps in, they'd be in a deficit, and they'd be losing weight. Is it healthy for you? No, absolutely not. Okay. So and is it enjoyable? No, because you're going to be hungry because you're only having a small meal that's an absolute ton of calories. If you can have 3 meals and some snacks for the same calories, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to enjoy the process a lot better, and it's also going to be healthier for you as well. So the right choices make fat loss easier, not harder. So stick to low calorie, filling foods and stay on track without feeling starving. That is the key. So we need to make sure we're tracking our food, making sensible choices. And again, I referred to this at the start of the video. If you're having trouble with this and you want some help working out things like calorie targets, I do have other videos on YouTube working these out as well. But my 7-day free fat loss course is a great opportunity to kickstart your journey to lose body fat and talk you through a lot of these important points. So I hope you found this video useful, and I look forward to catching up with you next time. Take it easy.